Hey guys, Mr. Wooten here again. This is problem number 2 from the Unit 1 study guide that dealt with equations and inequalities. So once again, we're going to be solving an equation for a particular variable. This time we're solving for a once again. And if you look at the equation, it says 7/5 equals a over 10 minus 23/5. Again, we're solving for the letter a. We need to remove this divided by 10 and the minus 23/5. According to the order of operations, if we're thinking about what operation actually happens to the a first, we do the dividing first, then we do our subtraction. Okay. So when we're going to solve for a, we do that in reverse order to undo those operations. So to undo the inverse of subtracting 23/5 would be to add 23/5. So if I turn around and I add 23/5 to both sides to keep the equation balanced, that cancels that out. I'm left with a over 10 equals, and if I add these fractions up, I like this problem just because it is a quick review of simple concept like adding fractions. Remember, you do not add the denominators. You just make sure you have the common denominator. In this case, 5 and 5. So we're just going to leave it as 5 since they're already the same. And then we just add across the top. 7/5 plus 23/5 gives us a total of 30/5. So then it'd probably be a good idea in this case to go ahead and reduce since we don't see any more fractions or anything we need to add here. So 30 divided by 5 gives us 6. Since I can divide the top and bottom by 5, that's just 6 over 1, which is, as we just said, 6. So then we have 6 equals a divided by 10. So what is a? If we divide it by 10, we get 6. So if I want to work backwards and figure out what a must have been, I could just multiply both sides by 10 to cancel out this dividing, and we end up with a equals 60. Okay, so if I was to try that again, 60 divided by 10 is 6. That's what we see there. If I convert 6 to a fraction over 5, 6 times 5 would be 30/5. Take away 23/5, and that does give me 7/5. So if I plugged it into the equation, I would end up with the correct answer. Okay, so we end up with a equals 60. If you got any questions, again, leave a comment, send me an email, or you can check with me in class. I'd be happy to try and address those. Otherwise, go on to the next video you need help with.